Yep.
I talked to Jared Goff yesterday. He was talking about trying to get J-Mo a little more involved. Like, what did you see? Is there any areas you can see or you self-scout ways to possibly get him more involved this final stretch of the season?
Yeah. I'm not going to let you know that, but yeah. I looked at everything as far as that. I'm going to do a better job with that. But there has been opportunities where it just didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? It's not like we ain't going to try to target him. So that was the biggest thing. So I looked at everything, and I failed him. That's what I told him. You know what I mean? I have to do a better job with that. But it's a two-way street. You know what I'm saying? So we were definitely looked at that.
How's he responded, though, as far
He's
as
great. Listen, man, this guy, he's awesome. He doesn't say anything. He just goes and plays. Like I said, I wouldn't fault you if you're pissed at me. You know what I mean? And because I've coached that position. I played that position. You know what I mean? And I know he works too hard. But, you know, we got to make sure that we're going out and doing the right thing, the right techniques and this and that. It's not just him. It's everybody. You know what I mean?
When did you guys have that conversation, and just what was J-Mo's reaction to the things that you shared?
He was great. He was great. Don't sweat it, you know what I mean? I'm like, listen, man, I'm going to do a better job. That's my job during the bye week, you know, because I stayed here, and that was my job in third down to really study that and just create how do I get him open, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of, especially on third down, they're doubling Saint, they're doubling him. There's a lot of stuff that's going on. So I have to be creative. I have to go in the archives, you know, to try to get these guys open.
We spoke to Johnny Moe this morning. He's kind of just saying that he talked to you, you know, during the bye week about potentially getting you the ball more and just show professionalism in that situation, man. Just talk about him, man. He was just saying he even thought that he failed you in a sense. Just talk about him as speaking up on your behalf and trying to get you involved a little more as well in his back end of the season.
He came to me, expressed to me how he felt, and you know. But, you know, with me, I really wasn't taking it too far into thinking about it. You know, we was winning games and things like that. So I could never get myself too worked up with me getting the ball or, you know, me getting targeted, things like that. I know it's going to come. It's a long season. We're a team that make it into the playoffs. So, you know, I knew things like that was going to come. Me and him talked on the field yesterday before practice. And, you know, we just got to understand, you know, how we're going to move forward. And that's the best thing about it, I think.
You've been a man since Little League. I mean, just literally just playing and getting targets, man. Where did you learn that from? Or have you leaned on anybody, or just that putting the team first?
I learned that probably from Teddy. You know, when Teddy came around, things wasn't going my way, and you know, he just told me to stay focused and you know, keep moving forward. The life we live is different from others, and others want to be in the spot we in. So you know, we can never take it for granted, or you know, get too worked up on ourselves about mishaps or when things not going right. You know, you just got to keep going until eventually it's going to get right.
John Morton basically said that he's failed J-Mo, and, you know, J-Mo responded, and, you know, his maturity, and maybe if he first got here, it wouldn't have been that much maturity. And he failed him. And, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, you got to put guys in position, but, you know, if most people went to go take, you know, 5 free throws and they made 4, you know, I think most people would be happy with that, with the statistical, you know, percentages of that. I think people would be happy. I mean, Laporta's been doing well. Amon Ra's been doing well. I think both the backs been doing well. And people, you know, I'm having this debate, and I'm just like, let me say this first, and I don't want to get off topic too far. There's this debate between Montgomery. They trying to create a narrative. Well, Montgomery and Gibbs ain't been running great all year. Let's get that established. I feel like it's damn near 50-50, but yeah, I feel like Gibbs took a little lead because of that game he had on Monday night versus Tampa. But Montgomery been having tough runs all year. Like I said before, I really just think people just feed off of what other people put out there. And that's why the media is so dangerous. Like when Mike Valenti put something out there, kind of being the voice or the front voice of Detroit sports radio, people run with it. But I when I watch him play, I see Montgomery in the beginning. He was beasting in the beginning. Where that Baltimore game, it was a lot of runs where he was breaking off early on and he was giving long runs. It was a lot of times where Gibbs was getting stopped in the backfield and getting stuffed, and they give it to Montgomery and he chugging on. But we've seen with Gibbs, whether it was his rookie year having a hamstring or getting off to a slow start, Whether it was the second year, he had the hamstring injury, getting off the slow start, he picks up. Usually after 4 or 5 games, Gibbs picks up. You kind of see what I'm saying? Montgomery, they are like, hey, he just like, he ain't been doing like, bro, he just had like 150 yards versus Baltimore. He had some really good runs this season. You know what I'm saying? You know, the Cincy game, he, didn't really, have the bedazzle runs that people, the flashy runs that people want, but people just be creating shit like, oh, just give it to Gibbs. Like, people don't know football. You want to have Gibbs fresh and ready for the late December, January. That's just what it is. Let Montgomery, take some blows and soften the defense up. You sprinkle Gibbs in, just give it to him. And then when he get hurt, you about to make a run and he get hurt and he banged up. It's obviously working. They're successful even with Ben Johnson. They are successful doing what they were doing. And he still got that go in the gas tank in the late in the season into the playoffs. But y'all arguing with already results. Y'all beating the fuck out of teams. You know what I'm saying? We beating the hell out of teams. What else more do y'all really want? They're going to have a system to keep him fresh. We're going to give Montgomery the ball more. And they have to find a way to give him the ball more. Because they're going to need him. Even down the stretch, they're going to need both of them. So, but to J-Mo, it's just to the point everybody's playing well. Montgomery is playing well. A little slower late, but shit happens. Montgomery been playing well. Gibbs been playing well. Laporta been playing well. Amon-Ra been playing well. So you got all these guys playing well. You don't have a J-Mo having a big year yet, right? Khalif been having some solid games, but then you'll say, well, Tesla, they need to play Tesla more. And I've been saying that because if they gonna get J-Mo out, they need somebody to threaten on the outside. And not next thing you're gonna start seeing is guys stack the box and daring the Lions to beat them on the outside. I'm telling you, that's what you're gonna see. They already is taking away the middle of the field. Next thing you're going to see is guys going to stack that box and they're going to be like, well, J-Mo beat me. And then that might be the recipe that you need to get one-on-ones on the outside. But I feel like if J-Mo not doing what he's supposed to do on the outside, Khalif Raymond, you ain't really worried about Khalif Raymond doing shit on the outside. At some point, you got to put a Tesla in there. Maybe throwing Tesla in there on the outside and stretching the field with Tesla a little bit, that might soften something up for J-Mo. So, they got creative. They can't just run J-Mo over routes and skinny posts and, deep posts or comeback routes or something like that. They got to think about, okay, what are some of the things we can really spotlight? We talked about his route running. Can we get him on breaking routes? Can we do speed outs? You know what I'm saying? Can we do some curl routes to him? And I know they want to get him in position where he catching the ball and he going. But maybe we need to scratch that. Maybe we need to scratch and just get on the ball like a possession receiver. Spot routes, option routes. Why not just start getting them to him where he catch it and then, it's just like Brandon Marshall routes. Little catch, break in, sit down, catch it, and, you ain't gonna get much. But routes that he may not able to turn upfield and get a bunch of yards. Let's just worry about let's treat him like a possession receiver. Maybe if it's a little bit rinky dink routes, and then you break them over with the corner routes and the over routes and, just have them breaking on some of them timing routes. Have them start off in the slot and do a breaking out. Have them do that speed out the slot. You know what I'm saying? Have him do whip routes. Just get the ball in his hand where he just moving the chains or he just catching, getting into a rhythm. And I know he ain't got the greatest hands in the world. We all understand that. He don't have the greatest hands in the world. And that's one thing great possession receivers got. But why don't you treat him like a possession receiver? Because I know a lot of times they don't want him going over the middle. You know what I'm saying? Running them slants and shit. So why not have him break on the outside? Set shit up where, they think he breaking for a corner. He might break on like a little medium out route. Maybe if you go over the middle, you throw some safe routes to him where he sit down. When you throw it, you sit down, he just catch it and you treat him like Amon-Ra a little bit. Well, Amon-Ra do a little bit. Instead of just trying to get him, get him in what they trying to do is get him with explosive plays. whether it's stretching the field or whether it's getting him in a position when he catch the ball and he can get down the field and get a big yard. Hey, take the big play away. Let's just use him to move the chains. Man, if you consistently get him to be in situations where he can move, he can just catch it and maybe just fall down, maybe defenses will start playing up and then you can get something on the outside. But I would just treat him like Brandon Marshall or Myra. You know what I'm saying? You know, guys like that. I would treat him like just where he can move the chains, possession. Chris Carter. You know, if his route running improved that much, I would treat him like those guys. Keyshawn Johnson. You know, I would just get him where, he getting the ball and, he getting the ball and he's sitting there. You know, he sit down and get the rock and all that. So, but that is my opinion, but we'll see what they cook up. And I just think Goff and J-Mo, they just don't have natural chemistry. I think that's a problem. They just naturally don't mesh. So, and when Ben Johnson left, they was clicking. They were clicking. But now you get the new playbook. It's like, we got to hit the reset button. But hey, check out Detroit Lions Star playlist. Hit the link tree. Find me on X, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, the whole nine. Appreciate the love and support. Let me know what you girls and guys think in the comment section. Peace.
You see him continue to be a big part of this team going on.
Of course, yeah.
Like, how do you get him a little more involved? Is that something you guys want to emphasize going forward?
Yeah, we would love to, of course. We want to win the game. We want to score points, and I think that's the primary for everybody. But of course, we'd love to get him involved more and get him the rock in a million different ways. And he's explosive. I know defenses are worried about him at all times, and we need to find ways to continue to keep him involved.